Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 50 Shades of Over 50. I have a delightful guest for you guys today. I am so excited. Her name is Judith. Oh my goodness, we're going to have an amazing conversation. So stay tuned. Hi, Judith.
Hi, Bobby. It's so wonderful to meet you after communicating virtually.
Oh, yeah, this is great. So let's get started. First question. How old are you?
I'm 78 today, but in about 2 weeks, I'll be 79. So,
Oh, so when is your birthday?
on March 15th, the Ides of March.
Oh, nice. Mine's March 6th.
Oh, see? You're
Yeah, yeah,
Pisces.
yeah. Pisces. Great, 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 great. So tell the listeners a little bit about what you do, and then I'll start asking some more questions.
Uh, well, my life is social media. I mean, I do have,
Yes,
of course, other parts of my life, but I do
yes.
spend a lot of time on social media. My main platform is Instagram, although I
Mhm.
also have a blog, which I started in 2010
Yes,
when Instagram didn't exist. And I just recently started TikTok, which is a whole different platform.
yes. Yeah, that's where I found you actually.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah. And so I know before you started doing all of this, what did you do?
I was a psychiatric nurse.
Ah,
That was my career.
yeah.
I always had something on the side having to do with style, however.
Mm.
I had a hat shop in the 80s.
Ooh.
I started buying vintage in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
Had I was a vendor in an antique market selling vintage. And then when I stopped that, I sold vintage on consignment in a vintage store.
Hmm.
So hats, and it wasn't even sustainable fashion or style was not even talked about then.
That's true.
I've been doing that since the 70s.
Yeah, you're like a pioneer.
Yeah, that's the only way to go is recycling right now.
Yes, I love that idea. So tell me though, I know that you have like a large collection of vintage lingerie. How did that come about?
Well, going to estate sales, starting in
Mm.
the 70s, I found this beautiful silk lingerie, which included anything that you can think of, vintage uh, gowns and sets,
Ooh,
teddies,
yeah,
um, bed jackets, which are
nice.
so
Ooh,
fascinating to me, and they were so beautiful. And I started collecting them and wearing them as outerwear. Sometimes
ooh,
in the 70s, I would go out and I would partner vintage bed jacket with jeans and.
ooh,
Yeah, so I have a large amount of vintage lingerie, which I
nice,
love.
nice. And then I know you also have as we can see from the background, large collection of scarves too.
Most of these scarves I found at estate sales, and most of them are vintage. And I had so many, and this is the way that it's like an installation in the room that used to be. This is where my daughter grew up, but
Yeah. Oh,
call this the scarf room, and it's the guest room now. So this is an
right.
entire wall of
Wow.
scarves, which to me is art, and so I don't have to feel guilty about having so many because they decorate this room.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Love, love, love it. Wow. So tell me, let's go into like how it is for you. You're 78, you're on Instagram.
Right.
How is that? Because, when you hit a certain age, I know at least for me, over 50, sometimes it's not as pleasant out there and the kind of comments. How has it been for you?
Actually, well, first of all, I started my blog in 2010,
Okay.
in the time that my husband was dying of cancer, which is what the motivation was, because
Okay.
a way to manage a devastating experience that he was my photographer, and
Oh,
through cancer caregiving and death and grief, and it was a way to um, what would it was a way to show up for myself. It was like a gift from him that there's no
Oh,
stop.
wow.
This is how I
Yeah.
continue with it. And I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I did go to a class, but and sometimes it still feels like that. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I continue to do it,
Yes.
and I don't get that much negativity.
Nice.
I don't, and the thing that is powerful is if there's a negative comment that I don't want to have it exist on my sites, I just delete it. And that doesn't happen very often, though, I have to say.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. But I like what you said. If you don't like, you just delete it. And I think that's important. But I love how you're showing up. Like when I saw you out there, I'm like, this is such a positive example of someone living her life on her own terms. Because
right,
that, I mean, really.
absolutely. I dress for myself. I don't dress for anybody else. And I haven't had any education in fashion. So it's all self expression and it's my passion. And now I focus on sustainability because I'm very concerned about climate change and anything I can do
Yeah.
um, to
Yeah.
contribute to um, saving the planet for my grandchildren and
Yeah.
generations. So
Yeah.
um, there's a lot that not only showing up and talking about ageism um, and, and sustainability, and that my passion, then I can express myself every day.
Yeah.
And
There
also,
was some,
um,
yeah.
I feel like as we age, that it's almost like we're supposed to become invisible. And so I feel like I'm countering that by showing up.
Oh, yes. And you are showing up. Listen, for those listening, you need to go to her Instagram chat. Oh, my goodness. Her Instagram page is so colorful. She wears all these amazing clothes. And then her hat collection. We didn't even talk about the hat collection.
I have a hat shop, so I have like probably more hats than I had in my hat shop daily basis I have in my hat room.
Now,
So
do you still sell hats now? Or
no,
no? No. Okay. So that's just a collection of yours.
right.
Now, I did read somewhere though that when you worked as a nurse, that sometimes you would wear hats to work. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't wear uniforms because I worked in mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So we wore street clothes.
Yes.
But I started wearing hats to work sometimes in the 70s. And, as time went on, well, the patients loved it. So then
Oh,
did. And it was kind of like it helped to create rapport.
yes.
People who were experiencing the many times because I worked in emergency mostly, that they were experiencing the worst crisis in their life.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of elevated the conversation.
Yeah.
And I would quit jobs if I wasn't allowed to wear hats. So
Would they actually tell you no?
yes, I was working in a mental health setting, and they were not. They didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to wear
Mm,
hats, and so I just found myself another job that accepted that. So
right.
we do have.
Love it. Like, okay, you don't like the way I am? I'll find somewhere else. And you did find somewhere else that loved it. So, and I think it's important that you did mention that it helped the patients. And I think that's really what's important. They were comfortable with it. And I'm sure it was a way. I mean, you're probably different. They were probably like, who is she? She has a hat on. Like, what's that about?
True.
So, yeah, so I'm sure it was a great conversation starter. And it probably took their mind off whatever was going on with them for that, short period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt like it created a rapport.
Yeah. I love that. That's good. So, do you live in New York or where do you live?
I live in Denver.
Oh, okay. But
Or
then you happen, because I see a lot of pictures of you in New York also.
well, my daughter lived in New York for 12 years, and so I went to visit her. Actually, I sold clothing in a vintage store on
Mm,
consignment, and that's how I got to New York to visit her uh,
nice.
over that 12-year period. So I became very familiar, and I had friends that lived there at the time, but over the years, I have friendships with people who were bloggers and now Instagrammers, and when I go to New York, it's like all about the people
Nice.
and the hat shops and the vintage stores and
Yes. Oh, and I also saw something about Fashion Week. So do you participate in Fashion Week sometimes?
um, I did walk for a Denver designer
Oh,
during
ooh.
New York Fashion Week. It was really fun. It was kind
When
of,
was that?
and then there's a sustainable trade show
Mm-hmm.
I have gone to regularly over the years, which features artisans from all over the world.
Ooh,
And I also support artisans who make sustainable art, which is wearable,
ooh,
along with recycled pieces from, as I talked about, vintage stores and consignment shops and thrift shops. And so, yeah, there's a community of people that I adore in New York, and I haven't traveled um, in fact, I'm supposed to be in New York right now, but I'm very careful regarding COVID.
yeah.
Because of my age, I'm in a high risk category,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't want
Yeah.
to get it. Even now with Omicron and the numbers going down in Denver, I feel like I still am high risk, so I'm a mask wearer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like to be in large groups, which that's what a trade show is
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that I can do that again in the future.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So tell the viewers, like, so if someone is listening now and thinking, you know what, I really want to become, get more into sustainability. What does that look like? How do I begin? Can you share with us some ideas or tips on that?
Um, well, I think perhaps the easiest way to start would be to try. You don't have to make a large investment. You can just go look around in a thrift store or a consignment shop, which is more like curated than
Hmm.
the shop is. I don't know if you have estate sales wherever you live, but
Yeah, we do a lot. Yeah.
yeah. And I find that it's looking for treasures.
Mm,
You're most like it's a way to be able to afford sometimes high-end designers, and it do
yes.
not have to be wearing designer clothing. It's if I love it and if it fits well and I love how it looks when I put it on, then it's mine.
Yeah.
um, so
Yeah.
um, I guess I could describe if you're not a hat wearer and you want to start wearing a hat, go to a thrift shop, find a hat that you like, start with like a fedora or
Hmm.
a beret, and
Yeah.
you can just walk around the block for the first time, how it feeling how it feels to wear a hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can just expand and wear it around people and experience the compliments that you get around it because you can get well, I'm not going inside restaurants right now, but you can get a better seat in a restaurant. There's many advantages to wearing a hat.
Oh, nice. I love this. I love it. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, like when I first mentioned, when we first got on, I told you one of the first questions I always ask is age. I think that's really important. And you said something that really just, I mean, when you said that, I was just lit up. I said, oh, we always ask about age. And you said, oh, your age pride, you're all about age pride. I love that. And have you always been that way?
Um, well, I became more conscious of it as I grew older.
Mm, okay.
That I suppose because we live in a youth oriented culture, that people at younger ages might not think about age pride, but hopefully, I feel like everyone should have age pride because we are the age we are. That's not something we control. I feel it's a privilege to be alive today because so many of my friends and my beloved husband are no longer here. So it's a privilege to grow older. And so I've decided to embrace it. I feel proud of who I am. I feel proud of my age. And one of the books that really raised my consciousness, and I don't, you may have heard of it, but
Mhm.
the name of it is A Manifesto Against Ageism,
Oh, I'm going to write that down. Hmm.
Christian Applewhite. And I can tell you, it was so enlightening and so helpful
Hmm.
in terms of what is ageism, how does it affect us? It affects our health
It does. I know. Yeah.
and our longevity. So I feel like part of taking care of myself is having age pride. And it's a mindset around to be proud of my age means that I will be more healthy. And dressing up for me is like a passion. So that contributes to my health.
Yeah.
And just having a community online.
That's
As
important
I
too.
went through my husband's death, I had this support group who wrote comments on my blog that were so touching, and it's
Oh,
like there was another support system. So there's a lot of good with social media.
yeah.
Well, there's negative as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I intend to embrace the good parts of it.
Yeah. And I love that. I'm definitely going to look for that book because
Yeah,
that's just the title's intriguing, first of all. Like, wow.
it is really life changing.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to get that because I want to learn more about because one of the reasons why I even started this whole, over 50 Shades of Over 50 was because when I was about 49, I interviewed women who are already in their 50s. And my goal was really to get ideas and maybe tips on like, okay, this is the things that, now when you hit your 50s, these are some things you need to focus on. And I was really disappointed. I would say 80% of the women I interviewed described themselves as invisible.
Oh,
And I was just so heartbroken by that. I'm like, it shouldn't be, that shouldn't be the case. But I do understand where they're coming from because I now did more research on it. And it's actually a thing.
right,
Feeling invisible after a certain age is a thing. And I thought, wow.
right.
And I wanted to do my part to
You
change
are,
that,
but
you know.
I can tell that you're doing your part.
Because I feel that we have so much wisdom and experience to offer. Like,
Uh-huh.
why would this be the time for you to just say, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm not going to do anything? No.
Yeah, I feel like even the word retirement is misleading
Yeah, it is. Yes.
because it sounds like, oh, I'm going to retire from life. And I feel like a transition is a better word because
Yes.
I've transitioned from, even though I was involved in style
Yeah.
along with working as a psych nurse, but I feel like I transitioned from a healthcare worker into a creator
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I love it because I actually had a discussion with someone about that yesterday also, where we were saying, why this word retirement? It just almost seems like, okay, I'm bowing out of life. Like I'm
Right,
done.
right.
And you're not done. People are starting new careers. People
Oh,
are doing amazing. I mean,
right. Absolutely. There's so many examples of that. And
oh, so
social
many.
media, I've met so many people around the world wherever I travel, which I'm not doing right now, but there's always an Instagrammer or a milliner, which is
Yes. Yes.
who
Mhm.
creates headwear.
Yes.
Um, because I follow milliners and I support milliners. I I feel like it's very life affirming to meet people all across the planet because that's what social media is.
Yes. Yes.
I would
Yeah.
not know you or be talking.
Exactly. We would not be. No, our
Right,
paths would not have crossed. And then, but it was social media.
right.
And I'm so glad I'm able to share your story because your story is very inspiring. And I'm sure there are people listening and saying, wow, she's doing that. I can do that too, you
Oh,
know.
absolutely. Um, as I said, the word mindset is what's so important. To feel that and that's why the name of my Instagram is Style Crone. That is the name of the
Yes.
blog. And so many people ask me, well, why did you choose the word crone? Because it has such negative connotations.
Hmm.
In the dictionary now, the definition is ugly old woman. And
Really?
if you research where the word came from, in other matriarchal cultures from the past, the word crone was very positive, referring to a woman, an older woman who had value to the culture and
Ooh,
participated and was an integral part of the community. And so I decided to use that term and just turn it on its head.
lovely. Wow.
So I feel like showing up at my age is a political act.
I love it. I love it. Because I mean, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to change the perception
Right.
of how people look when they age. And Helen Mirren says it perfectly. There's a quote that she says where you either die young or you grow old. There's no in between.
Right.
Like, it's
That's
like,
that's how.
let's live. Let's
Oh,
live.
yes, I feel like I've had so many adventures because of starting my blog. Do you know the blog Advanced Style or the Instagram Advanced Style?
Yes, yes, yes.
He's been a big support for me on,
Oh,
and so he features older women
yes, I've noticed. Yes, I noticed that. Yeah.
and men, mostly over
Yeah.
35.
Mhm.
And he really has been a visionary in terms of changing the perception of older people in our culture.
Yeah.
He has 3 books out, and so there's so many resources now that weren't available
Yeah.
in in times past that can help us feel support and um, and that we can learn. We can actually learn to value ourselves as an older
Yes.
person.
Yeah. And I think you said something that's really key, value ourselves. Because I think for a lot of women, sometimes they feel at this age they have no value anymore. They have nothing to offer. And that's so untrue.
It
Um,
is, but our culture doesn't value us.
that's it.
So
Yeah.
I really feel like it's so important to spread the word so that people that have taken on um, the um, what our culture defines as older people, that we are invisible, that we don't have value, that we don't participate, that we take up healthcare resources, and
Yeah.
on and on and on and on, because there's ageism in every area of our life. Like
It is.
there's
It is.
ageism in healthcare, so you
Oh
have to
man.
be an advocate of yourself.
Oh, you have to. Oh my goodness. If not, you'll just be pushed to this. Oh yeah, there's so many examples of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we really have to learn how to show up for ourselves. And listen, we can. Don't let anyone tell you different. You can. And it makes a difference when more of us do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other thing that I feel is important is because um, I have seen so many of my dear friends and family um, not die,
Hmm.
that I for many years have uh, decided that health is my priority, and that I can do so many more things in life if
Yes.
I'm healthy. So I'm a regular yogi. I'm very careful about whatever I put into my body. Um, I meditate, and I try to make sure that I'm taking good care of myself so that I can be healthy and do what I want to do.
Yeah, and you're a great example. But and I want people to, as they're watching this, to really hear the words that she's using. She's taking care of herself.
The most
No
important
one, no one else can do that for you. You have to do that for you.
I know as women, and I was a nurse, so I am like, my occupation emphasized what women are taught to be even more so, which is caretakers. And
Yes.
I learned during the time that my husband was sick that so many times statistically the caretaker dies before the identical
Yes.
sick person. So it was so important for me to learn to take care of myself because I needed to be there for him. He was the most important person in my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I learned so much during that experience that then I was able to take with me and learn how to live without his presence, without
Mm.
his physical presence.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, this was just such a delightful conversation. Thank you so much. And I know the listeners, I know you gained a lot from this information. And one of the things I want to share with everyone that's listening, it's not enough for you to just to listen. I really want all of you to take action in some way. That's the difference. Like we can all listen to great information, but the difference is when we take that extra step and take action for ourselves. Because as women, we take action for people all the time.
Right.
All the time. We have like a PhD in that.
Right.
But we need
Absolutely. Like doing one small change, one
one.
small habit change.
That's it.
I just think of one small change and then it feeds on itself because one
Yes.
small change can change our universe, our
Yes.
personal universe.
Yes. Yes. See, one. We're not saying make a massive, just one small change makes a big difference.
Start walking
It-
around the block just one day.
One day. One day. You can do that. Please stop because we need more of us
Right.
to be healthy out here because, medical advancements, everything's changed. So we're going to be living around for a while. So we need ourselves, we need to be healthy, body, mind, and spirit. We do.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Judith. I really appreciate you having you today. And thank you for all of you that tuned in to listen. Take care, everyone.
It was an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye. If you enjoyed listening to the show, you have to take a look at Flourish, my monthly online community for women in their 50s and beyond. We talk about the important issues affecting women in their 50s and over and provide tools and resources to help you live your best life. Join me by clicking the link Flourish Online Community in the About Me section below. I'd love to have you join me. See you there.